Well, it's that time again to give you a recap of last night's Friday football action. And, well, we originally had two games on the schedule for you, both Moscow Bears against the Pullman Greyhounds and then Colfax versus the Coeur d'Alene Viking JV squad. And, well, only one happened last night. The Smoke in the Moscow-Pullman area postponed the Bears versus Greyhounds to tonight, so you can hear Moscow versus Pullman tonight starting at 6:45 p.m. on AM 1400, the Palousas ESPN, and listentothegame.com, Channel 1. So we'll have that game for you tonight, which means just that one game last night, and it was a big win for the Colfax Bulldogs. They take down the Coeur d'Alene squad 56-32. Moved to 2-0 on the season now. They've had two big wins to open up their regular season, and they are looking good. Now let's dive really into this game and give you a recap. Really, at halftime, it didn't look like it was going to be this big of a scoring game. It was only a 12-7 lead for Colfax. Then, even on in the second half, it was all tied up at 26 apiece, but the offense continued to strive for Colfax as they get the win 56-32. So what does this mean for the Bulldogs squad as we look forward to the rest of the season? Well, I noticed two things from what we've seen in the first two games for the Bulldogs. The first thing is their offense. They're putting up great offensive numbers to open up the season. When we look at last week's win against Asotin, they looked good. Their offense was clicking. And last night, it was the same thing against Coeur d'Alene. When you look at Brady Ellis, what he's been able to do as a quarterback, he even got in a two-point conversion last night. He really is such a key part of that offensive squad. And so when you have a team like Colfax that can score a lot of points on the offensive end, what does that mean for the defense? Well, that takes a little bit of pressure off for the defense. So if Colfax struggles on defense and they do allow points later on in the season, we know that the Bulldogs' offense is strong enough to respond just in case the defense allows more points than they originally planned. So I think that's a very good plus for Colfax to see how good their offense is clicking. Also, we look at the second half of the way they've played these first two games. When you look at the second half of last night's game against Coeur d'Alene, they scored 12 points only in that first half. They put up 44 points in that second half, and they outscore the Coeur d'Alene Vikings by 19 points in that second half. So, Colfax now moves to 2-0 on the season, and they await next week, next Friday night, against the Moscow Bears. We're excited for that one. So they moved to 2-0 on the season, and both with big offensive numbers. In fact, they've now combined for 77 points in those first two games. So we're seeing a lot of points from the Colfax Bulldogs. So we will await till next Friday to see them again. But for the Moscow Bears, like we said, it's tonight against the Pullman Greyhounds on that postponed from last night due to the smoke. So originally right now we've got 6:45. We'll begin the broadcast on 1400 ESPN Radio and listentothegame.com Channel 1. This will be a big game for Moscow. You can look at our other video that we posted on the web, which gives you a preview of what you may expect for the Bears versus the Greyhounds. Also, make sure to tune in for this evening's game as the Idaho Vandals will take on number 3 ranked LSU. You can hear this one on Z-Fun 106 with the pregame starting at 4 o'clock and that kickoff at 5 o'clock. Hopefully you tune in tonight. Later on for the Moscow Bears on 1400 ESPN Radio, Colfax gets win number 2 on the season. We'll talk to you later.